Welcome to another episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, episode number 71, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is episode number 71, the first episode of the month of October, month of October. It's the first episode of the month of October. It's October season, man. We got postseason baseball going on right now. We're going to get into that real shortly. Also, I'm going to talk about, I think I have it in the description, remembering Lawrence Moulton. I remember him as a growing up. I love Syracuse back in the day. I still not into them as I used to be, but I'm always been a fan of Syracuse. Lawrence Moulton passed away this past week. Talk about him, remembrance of him. I didn't have a description, but I know he's gonna pass away like he did. I found out yesterday. We're gonna get into that later on and stuff like that. But let's get into the college football recap of last week. You had like four teams losing the top 10 last week, so we had a very eventful top four teams losing, top 10 teams losing, especially four of them. Florida State, we're gonna start with them. They lost last week 46-38 in overtime. I think it was double overtime, and maybe this was a trap game for Florida State because they had Miami, which they be playing on Saturday night. Maybe they took them for granted, but give credit to University of Virginia. They was able to win, handle their business, and in double overtime. It shows that you have to have an A game if you want to know win that championship. You got to stay focused, go undefeated. You can't take anything for granted. You got to stay focused. You got to stay locked in. You got to maintain your focus week in, week out. You got to bring your A game. And they didn't bring the A game. So now they play the Hurricanes coming in off a bye week. So see if they can salvage this season by beating Miami, who's ranked number 3 in the country. But last week was very eventful. A lot of upsets. There were some upsets, surprises last week. This was the main one, 46-38, double overtime in favor of Virginia. Sorry about that. Excuse me. Like I said, Chandler Morris scored on a 4-yard run in overtime. This is the first time in like 20 years is their first home victory over top 10 teams since also beating the Seminoles in 2005. Like it's 20 years since they beat the top 10 team. Virginia, you don't see them win this kind of game. They had the largest crowd in like since 2023, 50,107. And they're 4-1 right now, 2-0 in the ACC. So it looks like it's been since 2005. That's the last time they won home victory in the top 10. Looks like since also being the Seminoles in 2005. Anyway, they won the game and give them credit for that. But bad loss for Florida State. They dropped from number 8 to number 18. It's been a great thing to see College Game Day go to Tallahassee for this matchup between Florida State and Miami, but fortunately, it's not going to happen. They're going to be in Tuscaloosa for the Vanderbilt matchup against Alabama. Yeah, okay. So Virginia's first victory over a top 10 opponent happened in 2005 when they beat highly ranked Florida State. So it had been 20 years. So I just want to do my research on that. All right. So we're done with that. The other upsets that took place on Friday night was TCU losing to Arizona State 27-24. Then we go to Saturday's games. Penn State, you just can't trust Penn State. The game in this game was not a good game to watch. It was 3-3 at halftime. Not a well played game. And then scoring started to ramp up in the second half. And we look at this game, Oregon was in complete control. It was up 17-3 at some point in the fourth quarter. But give credit to Penn State, they bounced back. Drew Allard threw a 35-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Ross to make it 17-10. Then they tied it. Drew Allard to Ross was in connection again, 17-17. Then they scored in overtime to make it 24-17. Katron Allen thought they had an advantage, but give credit to Oregon. They bounced back with Dante Moore throwing a touchdown pass to Jamari Johnson to tie the game up 24-24. And then they scored a touchdown in double overtime. 2-point conversion failed, and then the game ended on an interception. But see who made that interception. Still doing double overtime. Look, He made that interception. See, man, set up that play. The game ended on his interception. Yeah, Dylan Thieneman intercepted Drew Law's pass in the second overtime. And you look at this Penn State team, they're just not good in big games. You can't trust them. High expectations, win national championship, but they cannot get over the hump against these top 10 opponents that they play. And they're like 4-21 now, currently, in these kind of games. So you can't trust them in big spots. 4-21 against top 10 opponents in the AP, Associated Press. That's what it means, AP. Since James Franklin became the coach. So they just having trouble just beating teams ranked in the top 10 all the time. So that's a bad loss for Penn State. The rest of Oregon win that game on the road. Washington lost to Ohio State. No surprise there. Ole Miss beat LSU 24-19. That was a big win for them. And then Alabama just has Georgia's number as they beat Georgia 24-21. Well played game, especially by Ty Simpson, the quarterback of Alabama. It's definitely a win that's going to salvage their season. But it's a team that lost to Florida State. It makes you think, like, why? How did they lose to Florida State? To lose like that to them, then you come and play against your arch rival, Georgia, on the road and win. 24-21. Ty Simpson had 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, passing and ran for a score. And also, Georgia had the nation's longest winning streak at home at 33. So Alabama put that to an end. So that was a big win for them to go on the road and win. Upset, no, number 17 beat the 5. That definitely upset despite the rivalry. Auburn lost to Texas A&M 16-10. Indiana barely beat Iowa 20-15. Tennessee held on in overtime and beat Mississippi State 41-34. And Georgia Tech almost lost to Wake Forest. This was a crazy game. Wake Forest should have won this game. They should have won this game, man. The sequence that was strange is that all that Wake Forest had to do was run the clock out. In the fourth quarter, they had a chance to run the clock out. It was 3rd down and 5. And also somebody jumped off sides on the defensive end for University of Georgia Tech. Jumped off sides. But the referees didn't call it. They missed the call. But the thing that's strange is that the quarterback for Wake Forest threw a pass down the field. Threw a pass down the field. Like a free play. The thing about it is Georgia Tech didn't have any timeouts. There was no timeouts for Georgia Tech. But at the same time, they go past the ball instead of running it. All they do is run the clock out. The game is over. So they throw the ball down the field, the quarterback, on a free play that should have been a free play, but again, the referees didn't throw the flag. But it should have been offsides, neutral zone infraction. But instead, he throws the ball anyway. But they should have ran the ball because Georgia Tech already used their timeouts. So, make long story short, this game goes into overtime, which it shouldn't have done. They end up losing 30-29. Then, Georgia Tech scored a touchdown. Then Wake Forest came back and scored a touchdown. They decided to go for 2 to win, and they fall short. This is a crazy, crazy game. Number 16, Georgia Tech, hung on and won in overtime 30-29. But it shouldn't have come to that due to the sequence. Yellow Jackets, they definitely jumped off sides, and the officials missed it. So with no timeouts, the Yellow Jackets didn't have. All thing that Demon Deacons of Wake Forest do is run the clock out. But instead, Ashford, the quarterback, Wake Forest throws a deep ball on 3rd and 5. Only to learn there was no flag. But either way, that should have been a flag. At the same time, you run the football. Because there's no timeouts that the Yellow Jackets had. They had no timeouts. All they had to do was run the football. Game's over. They run the clock out. Or maybe 4th down to get the ball back. Obviously, if they don't make it on 3rd down and 5, they can be conservative and run the ball. At least they have a few seconds left. But at the same time, they don't really give them opportunity by throwing the football. and stopping the clock. They should have just ran the clock out, and they didn't do it. So that was just a crazy, crazy thing. And also, the ACC spokesperson confirmed late Saturday that a penalty should have been called. Yes, rightfully so. The guy clearly, jumped off sides. Definitely should have been a flag for off sides. And they missed it, but at the same time, you're University of Wake Forest. You just run that football and you run the clock out because they don't have no timeouts. They can't stop the clock. They probably had the ball like with some seconds left, but I don't think it would have made no difference in getting it done and putting this game to overtime, which they will eventually do and win the game. Because it's just a bad loss. University of Wake Forest. Because they had a big lead. They was in control of this game. You look at this game, they was up by 17 points. Wake Forest. They was up 20-3. They were in control. They were outplaying Georgia Tech. 20-3 in the third quarter. Give credit to Georgia Tech for coming back. But this game should have been over before it went in overtime. So they held on and win that game. Georgia Tech. A big time game between Illinois and USC. Illinois won 34-32. That was a great game. Think about Colorado, man. Colorado's definitely falling off the radar. I mean, Deion Sanders is hype up. Deion Sanders, again, you lose Shedeur Sanders, yes. You lose Travis Hunter, yes. But when you look at Colorado, they've fallen off the radar. They're 2-3, not ranked. They lost to BYU this past week. They're 4-0. So that's just a surprising result to see how, again, they don't have the same talent, obviously. Notre Dame had it against Arkansas 56-13. All right, so let's move forward into this week. Who's playing this week? There's some big games, some good games. Obviously, Vanderbilt, number 16 team in the country against Alabama, number 10 team in the country. Games at 3:30. Penn State plays UCLA. Not a big game. See how they bounce back from losing to Oregon. Texas at Florida. Alabama, Vanderbilt. Got Florida State, Miami. Rivalry is renewed. They play each other Saturday night, 7:30. So it's a true road test for Miami. This is their first road game on the road, actually, because they have not played a road game all year. They played all their games at home against Notre Dame, Bethune-Cookman, South Florida, and Florida. So it's their first road test going on the road to Tallahassee. So see what happens in this matchup. There's a chance for Miami to make a statement in this game. I suppose they're going to look to bounce back from a loss to University of Virginia and try to bounce back. See what happens. Miami's 4.5-point favorites. Keep your eyes on the rushing attack of Florida State. They rank second, 336 yards per game, 336.3 yards a game. But Miami's straight, very strong and stout. Only allowing 76.3 yards a game. They're eighth in run defense. 2 yards on that. Right. So overall, when we look at these games, though my predictions, I'm gonna go with Penn State over UCLA, Texas over Florida, Alabama over Vanderbilt. I think Georgia would bounce back against Kentucky. I think Miami gonna make a statement, man. I think they're gonna beat Florida State and win in Tallahassee. Right, so let's get into the NFL. Right now, we got the NFL going on. Right now, we got the Rams losing 7-0 against San Francisco. 3:35 to go in the first quarter. So you recap what happened last week in Week 4. The Giants finally got a win with Jackson Dart against the Chargers. 21-18 was the final score. The thing about Jackson Dart that stands out, he did not turn the ball over. He did not put the ball on his way. He did score a touchdown. Draw play. The problem is, despite winning the game, Giants did lose their best receiver, Neighbors, to the torn ACL, unfortunately. So see what happens moving forward. They do play the Saints. Dexter Lawrence had an interception as well. But Scatterboo was a guy that stood out to me because he ran the ball very, very hard. 25 carries, yeah, like 79 yards. Justin Jackson had 111 yards, but he also ran 54 yards, so he could definitely be mobile and he could run the ball, but throw it. Not gaudy numbers from a passing game standpoint, but he was able to be that dude threat. Yeah, Dexter Lawrence intercepted. Justin Herbert ran about 38 yards. But Scatterboo ran the ball pretty good. Look at that. I think he had like 79 yards and 25 carries. Let's see. Yeah, 79 carries for 25 yards. So he's definitely turned into that feature back for the Giants. And rightly so. Got rookie quarterback, got rookie running back. So that's a good look. So they got to really feed him, give him the ball more also in the passing game. So big win for the Giants to avoid going 0-4. Chargers lost their first game of the season. Other games that stood out, Steelers beat the Vikings in Dublin 24-21. Eagles remains unbeaten. They won 31-25. Texas finally won the game. The Titans just don't look good. Ken Ward knows that this is not Miami, man. This is NFL. Houston won 26-0 in a shutout. Guy's first shot in almost like 15 years. Colts lost to the Rams 27-20. Jaguars beat the 49ers 26-21. The Chiefs dominate the Ravens. The Ravens, this defense is just not that good. The Ravens defense is just not that good. That's the culprit. Offensively, you can do so much, but this defense is the main reason why they are where they are as a team because the defense is not that good. And the Chiefs look like the old Chiefs. They got Xavier Worthy back. They provided a spark offensively. Um, big game for Holmes threw 4 touchdown passes, 270 yards. Didn't run the ball particularly well as a team that did run for 118 yards, but they had no running backs that ran for 100. Xavier had 83 yards receiving, 5 catches. Also, he ran for a 35-yard running play as well. So he was utilized in the running game. So tough times for Baltimore as they fall to 1-3 and Kansas City falls to 2-2. Then you had the Sunday night football game, this Michael Parsons Bowl ended in a tie, 40-40. The thing about this game is that Michael Parsons didn't do that much in the game with him having have an impact. A2 because of scouting report, but he didn't have make an impact, make his mark on the game. Give credit to Dallas when they played very well offensively, but the game ended in a tie. Both quarterbacks played well. Jordan Love had 337 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Dak Prescott had 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. Both quarterbacks played well. But defensively, man, it was just a bad game for both these defense, especially the Packers. I was the Cowboys defense not that good, but Packers defense didn't play well either. You look at Michael Parsons. Okay, he had 1 sack, 3 tackles, and 1 solo tackle, but he didn't make an impact in the game to me. All right, so that's it for that. Let's move on to this week's games for week 5. Got Vikings and the Browns, got Raiders and the Colts, Giants and the Saints, Cowboys and the Jets, Broncos and the Eagles, Dolphins, Panthers, Texans, Ravens. Most some of these games are not that good. Titans and the Cardinals, Buccaneers and the Seahawks is a good game. Lions and the Bengals, solid, not great. Not that many great games this week. Commanders and the Chargers, okay. Patriots and the Bills, not great. Chargers and the Jaguars, that's pretty good. That's a good game. Jaguars are 3-1 on Monday Night Football. That's a pretty good game. Got teams got bye weeks. The Falcons and the Bears, the Packers and the Steelers, they got bye week. They're off this week. So we got this bye week getting started. Okay, I'm going with the Vikings to win in London over the Browns. I think the Colts will bounce back against the Raiders. I like the Giants. I like the Giants to beat the Saints. The Saints 0-4. I like the Giants to win this game. I'll go with the Seahawks over the Buccaneers. I got the Lions over the Bengals. All right, so moving forward, let's get into some baseball. Got the wild card going on right now. Got the Yankees and the Red Sox going on right now. See what the score is. Scoreless right now in the bottom of the second, but the Yankees got runner in scoring position with 2 outs on second base. All right, in other news, we had the Cubs. They advanced to the divisional playoff series. They'll face Milwaukee Brewers. They beat the Padres 3-1. The Padres, man, they continue to underachieve. This is a team that has so much talent. They supposed to be as good as the Dodgers, but they don't know how to get to that next level while it's going to a World Series. So that's a very disappointing loss. But man, Machado on this team, the talent that they have, they still can't get over that hump and be a real big time team in postseason play. The Reds, obviously, no surprise, got swept by the Dodgers. They'll face the Phillies. That's going to be a great series. But the Cubs beat the Padres, man, 3-1. They face the Brewers, and the Tigers beat Cleveland, and they will face the Mariners. So that's an interesting series. So you got everything kind of wrapped up right now. The only thing that matters now is who's going to win this game between the Red Sox and the Yankees to play Toronto. So you got Chicago Cubs against Milwaukee Brewers. You got Detroit versus Seattle. Dodgers and the Phillies. That may be the best matchup in the divisional series overall. That would be a great game, a great series to watch. Right now, and we're going to the third inning. It's still scoreless, so it's the third inning coming up. So there's still scoreless between the Yankees and the Red Sox. All right. Okay, let's get into remembering Lawrence Moulton. Against that. Remembering Lawrence Moulton, who passed away unfortunately a couple days ago. Great player for the Syracuse Orange. He was known as Poetry and Moulton. Those don't remember. I remember this guy. This guy was a big time player. Smooth, did his thing. Passed away at age 53, man. He's a big time player for Syracuse from 1991 to 1995. His jersey got retired, number 21, rightfully so. When you get your jersey retired, know that obviously that means you're a great player. You're a great player. Definitely made the mark on the game. You get your jersey retired for Syracuse. He scored in double figures in 118 of 121 games that he played in. He's the only player to score 500 more points in 4 consecutive seasons since Dave Bing did it. So he definitely was a scoring machine. Very smooth with how he played. Also, he's the career scoring leader for Syracuse with 2,334 points. He graduated as the Big East Conference all-time leading scorer with 1,405 points. So he's a big-time player. He's a scoring machine. And rest in peace, man. To the only one who used to wear those socks up to his knee. He was the all-time leading scorer, man, for Syracuse. So he's up there with the Derek Colemans, obviously Carmelo Anthony's, Jerry McNamara, Sherman Douglas, Ronnie Cycli, guys like that, man. He's definitely underrated on the all-time base, man. He's still career leading scorer for Syracuse. Shows you how great he is, man. So he definitely made his mark on the game. Very smooth and effortless, man. Rest in peace. Let's get into on this day in sports history. Goes out for October the 2nd. Let's go. Not gonna go over everything, but some of the things. Right, 1904, the White Sox left-hander Doc White's streak of 45 consecutive Major League Baseball scoreless innings was snapped by the New York Highlanders, and Chicago White Sox win 7-1 at Southside Park 3. Pitching in his third start in 5 days, Philadelphia Phillies right-hander Grover Cleveland Alexander recorded his 20th century Major League record for baseball. 16th shutout of the year, a 2-0 win against the Boston Braves. Let's see what else we got. Chicago White Sox catcher Ray Schalk became the first and only Major League Baseball catcher to make a putout at all bases. White Sox beat the Indians 7-4. 1938, future Baseball Hall of Famer pitcher Bob Feller struck out a record 18 Detroit Tigers, but his Cleveland Indians still lose 4-1 at Cleveland Stadium. 1947 World Series, Yogi Berra, the catcher of the Yankees, hit his first pinch hit home run. He hits the first pinch hit home run, rather, in World Series history over Rob Brink in the 7th inning of a 9-8 loss to the Brooklyn Dodgers in Game 3. For the first time in 41 years, pennant races in both Major League Baseball leagues were decided on the final day of the season, October 2nd, 1949, when the Yankees upended the rival Boston Red Sox 5-3, and the National League Dodgers beat the Phillies 9-7 for a 97-57 record, Cardinals 96-58 record. Bob Shaw in 1950, the Chicago Cardinals set an NFL record with 5 touchdown receptions and a 55-13 win against the Baltimore Colts. The Cardinals quarterback Jim Hardy threw 6 touchdown passes. 1954, October 2nd, Don Little beats Bob Lemon 7-4 as the New York Giants complete an unlikely World Series sweep of powerful Cleveland Indians. Cleveland is a season record of 111-43, sets an American League record for regular season wins. 1962, October 3rd. October 2nd. The San Francisco Giants beat the rival LA Dodgers 8-7 in 4 hours and 18 minutes in game two. And National League tiebreak series, it was the longest 9 inning game in Major League Baseball history. Giants win series 2-1. 1963, Sandy Koufax of the Dodgers struck out World Series record 15 New York Yankees in Game 1 baseball World Series at Yankee Stadium. The Dodgers win 5-2 and sweep series 4-9, 4-0. Baseball history. 1968, October 2nd, for the first time, two soon-to-be named MVPs oppose each other as St. Louis Cardinals Bob Gibson beats Detroit Tigers Denny McClain 4-0 in Game 1 of the World Series at Busch Stadium, Memorial Stadium, St. Louis. Also, he struck out Bob Gibson, established a new baseball record in the World Series, striking out 17 batters. The Cardinals beat Detroit 4-0, Game 1 of the fall series. I'm talking about everything. But October 2nd, the New York Yankees won their third consecutive American League East title, beating the Red Sox 5-4 in a mag single playoff game. Brian Guidry won his 25th game, and Bucky Dent hits the 3-1 homer. Bucky Dent. I think that's it. Yeah, Art Monk of the Washington Redskins at the time began his NFL streak of 183 consecutive games with a catch and a win against the Raiders 37-35. 1986, Dwight Gooden, became the first pitcher to collect 200 strikeouts in each of his first 3 seasons when he recorded 7 in an 8-2 win against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Season ending 7-5 win in 1988 in St. Louis. New York Mets outfielder Kevin McReynolds set a Major League Baseball record by stealing 21 bases without being caught during the season. 1991, Toronto Blue Jays clinched the AL East title with a 6-5 win against the California Angels, becoming the first franchise in history to draw 4 million fans in one season. This is interesting college football history. October 2nd, 1999, the number 21 University of Alabama football team beat number 3 Florida 40-39 in overtime to snap the Gators' 30-game home winning streak. Future Seattle Seahawks running back Sean Alexander scored 4 touchdowns for the Crimson Tide. And that's it. Done for the night. Finally, let's see, Vin Scully, 2016, called his final LA Dodgers game a 7-1 loss to San Francisco at the record 67 Major League Baseball season. All right, so that's it for tonight. I'll be on the lookout. Check out e5280sports.com. The latest article should be up. It should be up. That recap the games from last week and all that stuff. So keep your eyes on that. All that good stuff. So I have another article coming soon. That'll be up, next week. So that's it for episode number 71. First episode in the month of October. That's yet to come for episode number 72. That'll be next Thursday. And so I suppose Rashad Mitchell comes out every Thursday night. Sometimes after 8 o'clock, maybe after 8:30, stuff like that. But definitely between 8 and 9. So stay tuned for next week, and I'll be back with another new episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, episode number 72. This is episode number 71 of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell. Be back next week on Elevation 52A Sports and Lifestyles, and stream live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Until then, talk to you next Thursday night. October 3rd. October 2nd.